Hello everyone, and welcome back for Booklight. We'll begin with opening prayer. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinhavadhi Tamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Janakalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Hello everyone. Welcome back again to our next chapter of Booklight. Just a reminder for all of you who are joining on Facebook Live, we are here on Zoom via the link that is there. I believe it should be in the comments and all. So please join us on Zoom if you can. It's a much more interactive experience. You have the ability to ask questions and interact with Swamiji a little more directly that way. That said, for all of us who are in Zoom, just a reminder, you please feel free to ask questions. We'll have time afterwards for a Q&A portion of the satsang. And you can simply direct the questions my way. You can type in Amar and just type in the questions, and then we can ask Swamiji directly those questions at the end of the satsang. So without further ado, I'll pass it off to our team now to introduce Swamiji. Hari Om.
Hari Om, everyone. I would just like to take a minute to introduce Swamiji. So Swami Shivayogananda ji was inspired by Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda and joined Chinmay Mission in 1996. Swamiji completed the Vedanta course at Sandipani Sadhanalaya and was initiated into sannyas by Puja Guruji Swami Tejamayananji in the year 2010 on Mahashivratri Day. He has been the resident Swamiji at Chinmay Mission Madurai for the past 20 years and was instrumental in establishing an active mission center there. Swamiji's spiritual discourses on various topics such as Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata, Ramayana, Upanishads, and Srimad Bhagavatam and various other texts are very well received by all. Swamiji also conducts regular residential spiritual camps for seekers and also periodically takes devotees for yatras throughout India. Swamiji was an acharya for the 2-year Tamil-English Vedanta course conducted at Chinmaya Gardens, Coimbatore from 2012 to 2014. We are so excited to hear Swamiji's reflection on this week's chapter of As I Think, and we look forward to being inspired by Swamiji today. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Should I start, Shivani, or? Okay.
Hari Om, sorry. Yes, please start.
Yeah. Hari Om to all. A very good morning to all present in this Booklight session. I'm extremely delighted to meet you all. This particular chapter, the fourth chapter of this, As I Think, is a small chapter. It contains only 5 paragraphs. So if you see, this particular chapter mainly deals with the renaissance of our culture and religion. I think you all must have gone through this particular chapter. And the topic is Rediscover Our Religion. Good that we need not discover anything. All we need to do is we have to rediscover what is already discovered by our rishis. They have discovered everything and they have given to us this treasure. And this spiritual treasure is faithfully recorded by all our ancient rishis They are dynamically preached by various acharyas. They also intellectually verified the truth behind all these declarations, Vedic declarations. Not only that, above all, they have devotedly lived this philosophy. See, that is the beauty of it. Can you all follow my English? Is it clear? Thank you. So, we need not discover anything. So, as I said, we have to rediscover. Then, what we supposed to do on our part is, first, we have to try to protect our culture. See, it is said, Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitaha. From our part, what Gurudev wants us to do is, we have to protect it. We have to practice it with utmost sincerity and intensity. And the third thing is, we should try to share this vast knowledge with maximum people. See, that is the goal of our mission also. Now, when we say rediscover our religion, what does exactly the word religion means? You must have thought about it, and you can discuss this word also. Because it is an English word, there is no exact translation. See, it is a translated from the Sanskrit word. When we say religion, especially when we talk about Hindu religion, please understand it is not a man-made religion. No single individual or a single person can hold any authority or power over this religion. See, this is the beauty of this religion. It is not man-made. This truth is given to us by none other than the Ishvara. That is what we all believe. The emphasis of this religion is based purely on faith. Much later, all intellectual discussions, rational questions, all that we can ask, but basically it emphasizes faith. So it is not a man-made religion. Then it doesn't depend on any one single book. Though the source of knowledge is Vedas, there is no doubt. Even if you go through all the various portions of these Vedas, even they have so many branches, and so many acharyas have interpreted this knowledge in various ways. So it is not man-made religion. It is not based on any single book. Then it is not based on any one opinion or one philosophy. See, that is the beauty of it. That is the reason in Sanskrit we call it as matam. See, the word matam cannot be translated in English. If you read our Gurudev's commentary, Gurudev exactly says this, that the word matam cannot be translated into religion, because religion is a vague translation of matam. When we say matam, it is an opinion or philosophy born out of one's own introspection. So that is a Sanskrit word matam. Even if you read Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also repeatedly says, iti me matam, iti me matam, iti me matam. Means this is my opinion. This is my philosophy. This is my declaration. But one thing we should remember, see, all the opinions and philosophies are various acharyas. They are always based on one truth called our scriptures. See, you can have any number of opinions. You can write your own thesis, your own philosophy. But end of the day, it must be in line with the scriptures, in line with the Vedas. The truth, the opinion, or the philosophy you declare must be a verified knowledge. That must be a verified knowledge. So these opinions, these declarations or philosophy, intellectual knowledge, what we call as matam, is a verified knowledge, verified from our scriptures, and we simply call it as in Sanskrit pramana. Pramana means a valid means of knowledge. So all these opinions by various rishis and acharyas, they are purely verified. Not only that, it is experienced in their own life. So this truth is verified and it is lived by them and it is purely experienced by them. You get it? You're able to follow it? See, this is the beauty. Now, we have so many opinions or various philosophies and given by various rishis according to time. They have taken time into consideration. Then according to the place, time, place, then temperament of the people. See, we have different time scales. We live in a different time scale. People come from different, even if you take India, there are different parts, people follow different culture. So when you say something, you have to take this time into your consideration, place into the consideration, and the temperament of the people, you have to look into it. And the situation, if you see Bhagavad Gita, it is totally a different situation it was given. So you have to consider the situation on which a particular philosophy is given to somebody. Then the growth of the particular individual also, and the growth of the entire civilization, the growth of the entire society. See, that must be taken into consideration when you propagate or profess some kind of a philosophy. See, all these things are considered by our rishis, our acharyas, time to time. Somebody has come down, they have guided this humanity without compromising the truth that is being declared in our Vedas. End of the day, it is the ability of the person also. See, they had such a large heartedness, so much of compassion. They can easily understand our ability to understand the scriptures. So time, space, temperament, situation, growth, society's position and individual ability, considering all these things. So various acharyas have given us various philosophies. That is how we have a place for Dvaita, we have a place for Visishtadvaita, we have a place for Advaita. Then people practice Karma Yoga, some practice pure concentration called Raja Yoga. And if you are emotionally charged, you can refine all your emotions with beautiful devotion. See, we have Bhakti. And if you want to rationally inquire about truth, with a sword of discrimination, and there is a place for it. We have Jnana. In Hinduism, it is an university. According to the student's capacity, see, whatever you want to follow, and it accommodates everybody. It doesn't insist that one particular person should follow only one particular type of philosophy. This kind of, it doesn't limit your imagination. It doesn't limit your creativity. The truth is so vast and it can be approached by any individual through any avenue. This freedom, this beauty, only this religion gives to this world. That is the only reason this religion has survived. So we should not use this word survived. From time immemorial, this religion guides the entire humanity, not only in India. It is the mother of all religion. See, all religions are branched out only from this one single, Vedic religion alone, whether they accept or don't accept it. And the truth is, such a diversity, you cannot see in any other religion. It is so accommodating. You have Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga, Purva Mimamsa, Uttara Mimamsa. See, each philosophy may differ with another philosophy, yet they all accept Vedas. And if you read all these Nyaya, Mimamsa, Uttara Mimamsa, Sankhya, Yoga, what is the culmination? The end result is they all want you to get rid of all sorrows. The final point of the entire religion is man should realize his own essential nature and he should put an end to all his sorrows. So there is a way to get out of all the confusions that we have created. So they unanimously agree. Even all the 6 schools of philosophy, they talk about dukkha nivritti. They talk about dukkha nivritti in their own language, in their own philosophy, in their own discovery. But at the end of it, it talks about dukkha nivritti, and the second one is called nirankusha tripti. Man is essentially, his nature is peace. So the soul is always content. That nirankusha tripti, the absence of sorrow and the presence of eternal happiness must be recognized. This is the unanimous declaration in spite of all the variations you study in various philosophies. And they all declare only one thing. They say that the soul is also immortal. Some philosophies say that there are many souls. Some other philosophy says there is only one soul. But end of the day, they say that there is in human body, there is a soul. It must be recognized. It must be discovered. And then it must be realized. So this is the beauty of this religion. So if you say rediscover our religion, I have just given a brief introduction to the word, what religion exactly means, why there is so much diversity in our religion. So end of the day, it is all for our individual growth. Now, briefly, I am not going to read all the paragraphs from this particular chapter. If you read the very first paragraph of this chapter, Gurudev gives a beautiful example, wonderful example that he alone can give. And he talks about the function of our heart. See, what is the role of the heart? The function of heart is to circulate the blood. Second one, it has to purify the blood. Both must be done by the heart. 24 hours it has to function. There is no rest. So 24 hours it is constantly pumping the blood. Not only it is pumping the blood, it is purifying our blood for its own survival. If it doesn't circulate the blood, if it doesn't pump the blood, if the blood becomes impure or if it gets poisoned, because of its own poisoning, the heart will perish. How wonderful it is. So for its own survival, it has to pump the blood. It has to purify the blood also. So here also, please understand, religion is not meant for the survival of religion. If religion survives, the humanity thrives. If religion survives, you and me will grow. If there is no survival of religion, if religion doesn't survive, if you don't understand it, see, already in spite of all these religious teachings, there is so much of commotion. Think about if we don't preach it properly, what will happen. So Gurudev clearly says, so the function of the religion also same. So in the second paragraph, Gurudev beautifully says, the heart of the collective individual or the heart of the nation is spiritual culture. Just like we have an individual heart, the same way the heart of all the collective individual, the heart of any nation, any civilization is spiritual culture. So we have to preach, we have to practice, we have to live. Not only that, it is our responsibility to present this philosophy very clearly. See, we should not color it with our own, imagination. It is the responsibility of the great teachers, even the practitioners, to present this philosophy, present this truth, present our culture properly to the present generation. This is exactly what our Gurudev did here we are because of his, that clarity in presentation, which was so applicable to day-to-day life also. So we are all following him. Why? Because it is presented properly. The problem with all, say, I'm not blaming anybody. Gurudev also says there is no point in blaming anybody. With all other philosophy, it is not presented properly according to the time, the place. As I said earlier, there is a lot of confusion. Philosophy, I don't know. But in presentation, many times what happens? In presentation, if there is no clarity, however, beautiful the philosophy is, if we have not presented it properly, we can always create the confusions. So it is our duty that we should present it properly. Now you can all discuss now what is spiritual culture, because the second paragraph talks about spiritual culture. Now what is spiritual culture? For that you should understand the difference between culture and spiritual culture. There is something called culture. That means each and every individual should blossom like good human beings. So before we take up the study of all these scriptures, the fundamental platform for any spiritual takeoff is necessarily we should be good human beings. To climb oneself as a human being itself is a very tallest climb. So before you claim that you are a human being, before you say that I am a human being, we must see to it that we follow all the values that is enumerated in our culture. So that is simple culture. Civilization is totally different. Culture is totally different. So much emphasis is put on only on culture. So you must be a cultured person. Say other day, somebody told me, Swamiji, my son is a very good person because he doesn't smoke, he doesn't drink, he doesn't lie, he is straightforward. Then I said, that means he is he is a person. So you need not say that he is a very good person. See, if you are, he is a good person, no doubt. See, it is a basic quality. You should have all these basic qualities in you. See, good person. But when you say very good person, then that is totally different. You have to evolve much more than that. When somebody has all these qualities, then we say that he is a good person. If you have to be an extraordinary human being, all that, then we have to have much more spiritual qualities also. That is the reason Gurudev beautifully defines this culture in one word. What is culture? Somebody asked Puja Gurudev. Gurudev simply said that it is the fragrance of the personality. See, that is culture. Wherever you go, whatever you do, you should spread your fragrance. No, I am here in the midst of you all for 35 minutes. I'm not, I'm in life. What I supposed to do? I should leave a wonderful, fragrance among everybody. So wherever we go, whomever we meet, we should leave our mark there. People long for our presence. Even in cricket, when Sunil Gavaskar retired, many people asked, when he retired, people should not ask when you are retiring. People should ask why you are retiring. See, when you go from some place, people should ask, Swamiji, you should not ask me, Swamiji, when will you stop? So before I stop, you should ask, why, Swamiji, why you stop? So these are the two questions. Gurudev also says, cultured people give happiness wherever they go. The uncultured, whenever they go. So just find out whether people are happy in your presence or people are extremely happy in your absence. That defines your culture. It doesn't define the Hindu culture. See, we represent that culture. We represent that culture. So that we should keep it in our mind. So it is very important. Even Swami Vivekananda beautifully says, it is culture that can withstand all shocks, not mere mass of knowledge. Why we give so much importance for this culture? With all the accumulated knowledge, when challenges are thrown, when problems come in our life, with all our knowledge, we cannot face life. To face life, you need a different kind of, mind. Your mind must be refined, a purified mind, a noble mind, a strong mind. Even if it doesn't have any other knowledge, such a mind alone can face all the challenges. Because every moment, constantly, life is throwing at you a different types of challenges. Now, today it is totally a different challenge for me because normally I don't speak in English. I rarely speak in English. Every time I speak only in my mother tongue, in Tamil only I speak because here people will prefer. But then I was requested to speak in English, but now I cannot escape. Now I have to face this challenge. Only thing I have to rely upon the strength, the concentration, the faith, the grace of my Guru, my Lord to present it. So now I am at ease. So end of the day, friends, everything boils down to this kind of attitude. See, if you want to redefine culture, we have to define it. We have to preach that culture only through our attitude. You cannot preach very high philosophies, with right kind of an attitude. First, you develop a right kind of an attitude. I always say that we need not preach anything. In our presence, people will get inspired. Your presence will make people learn everything. You need not utter a single word. No, here I have Dakshinamurti shrine. He doesn't utter a single word. But in his presence, we can learn everything. See, that is the beauty of silence. If you have that kind of an attitude, then your whole personality changes. It emanates so much of fragrance wherever you go. When people just look at you, they need not, develop any relationship also. Even when they look at you, they will feel that, divinity in you. You must be able to draw from this universe. If you stand and say something, you must have something to offer to the people. Your very presence should give something to the people. Your very presence should enable people to draw something from you. If they can draw something from you, you lived well. You can say that you represent this religion. You represent this culture. This is what Gurudev talks. This is what all about spiritual culture is. Suppose if you fail to live, this is what Gurudev exactly says. If you fail to live, if you fail to preach, if you fail to practice, then people simply walk away from this religion. Simply they don't follow you. That is how Gurudev says skeptics are created, atheist, pessimist, secularist, communist. There are so many divisions. Why? Because even in the name of religion, there is a caste, creed. There's so much of confusions. People are not, they are not coming directly, coming to terms with this our religion. When it is not presented properly, when it is not lived in its true spirit, what will happen? People totally lose their faith. When people lose their faith, they take up to a different kind of path. That is how we have to add a terrorist also. All these communist skeptics, all that, you add terrorist also. People become, when they don't understand their own religion, in the name of religion only, people are becoming terrorists. Then in India, we are called Maoist. So all these problems are there. Because religion should, be a good solution for the entire national security also. For leading the people also, religion should offer all kind of solutions. So, but this is how sometimes, we misrepresent our religion. But whenever such things happen, Gurudev always says in history, there always a great, powerful guidance comes down. Whenever our religion is misrepresented, when it is not preached properly, when it is not practiced, when it touches the rock bottom, then some powerful personality a great guidance, descends on earth, like Swami Vivekananda or Gurudev. You can read all our history time and again. All these powerful people, they come, they will guide this entire humanity and it will be revived. That is how this religion has survived, because people will come, such a noble soul they doesn't, and this religion is revived. This is what exactly Gurudev talks about in the second paragraph. What is the third paragraph? Gurudev talks about the damages done to this religion for so many ages, from time immemorial, right from the creation. Constantly there is a threat. Even though in India, in spite of majority of the Hindus, there is always a threat. There is an internal threat. There is no threat there is no external threat also. There is an internal threat. Gurudev says that these damages are caused by political slavery. So in India we have been, slaves. Now all these is not mere political slavery. Please understand. It is religiously propagated political slavery. Behind all this political slavery, there is a powerful religious card was played. It is not just we have undergone a mere political slavery. We were dominated by other religions. On one side, calculatedly, they have tried to remove from our entire education system also. They have tried to damage the very fundamentals of our religion. So Gurudev beautifully says there is a political slavery. Then what happened? We got freedom in India. Then almost for 60 years, there is a defective leadership. The people who ruled this country, they never had any value for this spiritual teachings. See, they have totally, deviated from the fundamental truth of the heart of this nation. They have just simply destroyed the heart of it. Then Gurudev says there is a defective leadership. Then destructive habits of the people. The people become so corrupt. See, if you followed religion, religion will refine our mentality. But people have not followed this religion faithfully. So, destructive habits, unimaginable corruption in this society. So, wealth is also not properly distributed. So, people lose, because of all these things, further people lose faith in our religion. Then lack of proper education. So, etc., etc. Gurudev says all these things. I don't have much time to explain each and every word. I'm just my reflections I'm sharing with you all. Then he says about Buddhism. So, it's a beautiful religion, wonderful religion. No doubt Buddha is one of the greatest world teacher. But so much of ahimsa was preached. Now we must understand ahimsa is an individual spiritual quality. Ahimsa must be preached to a seeker. See, when it comes to national security, when your borders are threatened by all other countries, you can't sit and meditate. You can't preach ahimsa. You can't throw all your weapons and say that Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Sangam Saranam Gacchami. That is what happened in India. All the Kshatriyas, they dropped their weapons. On the contrary to the teachings of Krishna, you see Krishna, when there is a threat for dharma, he told Arjuna, you take up all your weapons and kill everybody. And in that same Bhagavad Gita, he preached ahimsa also. So there is a place for every value. See, practice of these misplaced values is a great threat, danger to the religion. If you unnecessarily practice ahimsa and national security, what it will happen? It is not your country. See, the country is mere, it is a population. It is your culture. When we say that India, we don't talk about 130 crore population. That doesn't represent India. That is not India. The ancient discovery of the rishis, if the country is threatened, if the country is destroyed, what will happen? The whole knowledge will be destroyed. So all this, then there is a Buddhism, this is the problem. Then about Islam, it spread the spirit of antagonism. Gurudev has clearly written. Then there is about Christianity, and we are not against anybody, but we have to speak the truth. And when it comes to Gurudev, he is never munched his words. He was so straight in saying all that. Then in Christianity also they indulged in conversion in the name of all services. No doubt, so much hospitals are opened, religious institutions are opened, but end of the day, it has become a big cultural threat. They're indulged in conversion. These are all the problems Hinduism faced. But Gurudev says, yet it survived. Yet it is surviving. It is spreading everywhere. Why? Not because of us. In spite of us, we have to say that. Not because of us. This religion has survived in spite of us because it has its own intrinsic strength. It doesn't rely on any single individual. It doesn't rely on any single book. It doesn't rely on any single philosophy. It doesn't depend on anybody. It has its own intrinsic strength and its own enduring values. As long as an individual also I am telling you, as long as you have your own inner strength, your own enduring values, even if the whole world stand against you, none can corrupt you. You can live, an upright, a pure life. There is a possibility. The religion is not, there's only, they cannot demolish this wonderful palace. Here and there are some damages, some cracks are there. We will rectify it now and then. Somebody will go and come and they will rectify it because it has survived because of it, values, enduring values and strength. And in the 4th paragraph, he says, let us not blame anybody for what has happened. All we need to do is we have to do our own soul searching and strive for the renaissance of this religion. This is the 4th paragraph. Simple. And in 5th paragraph, Gurudev says, see, we have to rediscover our own religion. We have to rediscover our own culture through immortal philosophy. See, we have an immortal philosophy. Take this philosophy in your hand. At the back of this philosophy only, we have to spread our religion because we have such a powerful, philosophy. Time tested. It is experienced by everybody. In the beginning itself, I said, it is a verified knowledge. It is lived by everybody, experienced by everybody. Swami Vivekananda beautifully said, it is a treasure. We should not, keep this treasure in caves. Take out all these treasure and throw it in the marketplace. Give it to the people. Let them study. And they will reconstruct their own life. You need not even guide them. See, this was the statement made by Swami Vivekananda. Why are you hiding all this treasure only in Himalayan caves? Let it come out of the caves. Throw all the Upanishads to the marketplace. See, this is what exactly Gurudev did. Before that, these Upanishads, they were not only sacred, they kept as secret knowledge. Vivekananda said, Swami, first he said, bring all this treasure out of these caves, throw it to the marketplace. Let people, read. Let them decide whether they need it or not. If you read, you will understand. So that is exactly Gurudev says. For that, what we need a team of good people. This is a teamwork. Hinduism is always a collective work. It is not on any individual's work. It is a collective work. We need people with good heart and noble head. Noble head. With pure faith. If you have that kind of a zeal, compassion, strength, understanding, above all the knowledge of scriptures, he says a moral integrity and a honest faith in you. Friends, there is no doubt we can rediscover this religion within ourselves, not only within ourselves, even with outside also, this religion can be spread. This is our responsibility. This is our duty. As Swami Vivekananda said, take the whole responsibility on your shoulders and know that you are the creator of your own destiny. All we need is a responsible. Hinduism is looking for this culture, this religion, this revival is looking for a broad, responsible shoulders. Are you ready to give? That is the question. With that, I will conclude my reflections. Thanks for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Hari Om. 8:10. Hari Om.
Hari Om, Swamiji.
Hari Om.
Thank you, first of all, for meeting the time perfectly. Now, Swamiji, and for those of you who are on us with Zoom, please feel free to ask questions to Swamiji. Not, of course, Swamiji, when will this satsang be over? You know, but ask any questions you might have, and so Swamiji will answer. I don't have any questions as of yet. Shubhaniji, any thoughts?
Can Swamiji explain if the words culture and religion, are they the same, or is there a difference between them? And if there's a difference, what would that be?
See, culture is a foundation. See, culture, the word when we talk about culture, it is a foundation for all, religious discoveries also. All these great philosophies, whether it is Advaita or Vishishtadvaita, all these all these people who have given to us this great philosophy, basically they are cultured people. Culture is, a refined intellect, a refined mind, a refined senses. If your senses are refined, your mind is refined, your intellect is refined. See, that is a perfect platform for the supreme knowledge to descend. So, from culture, keeping culture as your base, you will further travel. Religion takes you up to, the knowledge, up to realization. So, religion is a vast thing, but the foundation of any religion is based on the individual culture. So, otherwise, there is not much difference.
Swamiji, every time consistently, we always have 3, 4, 5 questions, but Swamiji's talk was so clear that no one has questions. So that's okay with me, because I'll ask questions, Shubhanji will ask questions, our team will ask questions. So Swamiji, one curiosity I have is, could Swamiji elaborate just a little bit more about that statement that ultimately this entire religion is faith only? Because that's something that we almost pride ourselves within this mission. You know, we do so much logic and so much thinking and everything. Can Swamiji just elaborate a little bit more on that?
See, why we talk about more faith is, see, anything is seen or discovered through the senses doesn't depend too much on faith. But most of the declarations here, for example, who told us that there is a soul inside this body? No other religion has said this. It is a contribution of our Vedas. It is a contribution of our rishis. They have discovered that there is a immortal soul is hidden behind this simple looking body. But all you can see is only the physical body. Where do you see this immortal soul? All that, because it cannot be seen, it cannot be experienced like that, because it doesn't fall under the purview of the senses. So any knowledge, that goes beyond the senses, first you have to have a faith in it. Faith on whom? People who have already discovered it, who have declared it. So they have seen it. They have not just, they don't just make a statement, there is a soul. They have clearly experienced it. They have removed all their bondages. And they have also told us, in all our Upanishads also clearly says, iti Shushuma Dharana. See, this is how we have listened from our, rishis. See, until it becomes our own experience, you need some kind of, you have to hold on to something. See, otherwise, every moment, there is so much of temptations. Anytime you can just, the path that you have chosen, you can deviate from it. Then what is a hold? Faith is the real hold. Faith is the real hold. So we must have faith. We must have faith in our own faith. That is more important. We should have faith in our faith. It is very important. Because, see what happens, this faith gives a kind of a comfort also. It comforts. The faith removes all, see, any intellectual questions or intellectual deliberations, all is fine. But there are a lot of intellectual disturbances also, restlessness also. See, sometimes in spite of all your reading, meditation, all that, sometimes things go above our head, goes for 6s and 7s, but only faith, when you hold on to faith, then you are really grounded. So it is very, very important. You should approach everything only through faith. Tasya Shraddhaiva Shiraha. See, our Upanishad also says, if you take intellect, if you give a form to intellect, it is not reasoning. Reasoning is not the head of your intellect. No, if you take, they have given a form. Tasya Shraddhaiva Shiraha Rutam Dakshina Pakshaga Satyam Uttara Pakshaga Yoga Atma Mahat Pucham Pratishta. See, there is a beautiful definition. So even for the reasoning, you must have some kind of a faith. It is only revealed through faith only. Because in faith, so all dormant potentialities, all inner chambers, they open. So if you have to transcend all these physical limitations, they said they have discovered that faith is a vehicle to go beyond all these physical, limitations. So that is the reason in our religion, faith plays a major role. And it is not, I am telling you, it is again a verified thing. It is not a blind faith. When we talk about faith, it is not just blind faith. It is all already verified. Since we are not experiencing it, so we have to pursue it in the beginning only with the faith. See, when you slowly start walking in this path, when you become steady, then the same faith becomes your wisdom. The matured faith is wisdom. When your faith becomes mature, your knowledge becomes mature, it becomes wisdom. Then there is no difference between the same thing you will be telling other person. So please have faith in what I say. So this is how it exactly happens. So hope I am clear. You are able to figure out.
Yes, Swamiji. Thank you.
So start with it.
Yeah. So we just got 4 questions within 30 seconds of each other. You all should speak up before. I'm going to combine 2 of them, Markande and Saurabh's questions. So Swamiji, how do we approach spreading our religion or culture in a country with its own pre-existing culture that's very different? As well as, now the other part is, how do we also coexist within our own different interpretations of the culture? Within Hinduism, within India, that you'll have some different interpretations. So could Swamiji talk a little bit more about that?
See, this is a vast subject. It needs a lot to be discussed. But I am always telling you, when you want to spread your religion, all that, don't take big philosophies, big books. End of it, see, we are all human beings. See, there is a need in everybody. Everybody is experiencing sorrow. There is a confusion in everybody's mind. Everybody needs a solution for their own little problems. Whether you live in India, whether you live in America, whether you live in London, the common problem the entire humanity faces is very common. So you take the solutions given in our religion are plenty compared to all. See, their religion also may give solutions, but in our religion there are plenty of solutions. See, you take all these solutions from our religion and address it to the people. See, whether you are addressing it to the other national person or a different country person, it doesn't matter. End of the day, what you are doing, you are collecting all the solutions from your religion, and you are approaching that human being and you are presenting it. If that solution is accepted to him, he will accept your philosophy. Now, why people also convert here also in India? Because their monetary acceptance is there. See, there is a poverty. Somebody immediately, the problem is poverty. So in the name of religion, they give some kind of relief, monetary relief is given. The moment some relief is given, immediately they accept, knowingly or unknowingly, that philosophy is accepted. So teaching is one thing, but the human problem is common everywhere. We don't have different problems in different countries. The problem is the same, human being. So from our religious book, take up these solutions and give these solutions. So this is what Buddha, everybody did. See, all the great Vivekananda, everybody did the same thing. They addressed the human heart and they kept a religious book as a reference. See, they have not tried to propagate the religion, put all their philosophies into others' head, and they didn't want to just brainwash people, but they addressed the problem of the people. You just read when Swami Vivekananda came to America, what did he do? He exactly understood the problem of the Americans at that time. He beautifully addressed them. And they were all they were just mesmerized by him. And they accepted all the truth. Then they started, you see, Nivedita, all that they followed him because he offered a universal solution from our scriptures. He did not just preach. You got it? What I'm saying? I think those who asked the question. So this is how we should approach people. See, somebody comes to me for some problem, immediately I need not quote Gita. I need not quote Upanishad. Just because I have read Gita and Upanishad, I need not quote left and right. But Gita and Upanishad has given me many solutions. I have to just take a solution, address to that person, issue that give that solution. Then suddenly, his eyes will open. Then he will come nearer to you. He will accept your philosophy. He will respect your religion. That is how the respect is not demanded. The respect is always commanded. So look out for solutions. That is more important. There are many ways, but I'm just whatever I know a little bit from my experience that I have shared. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Swamiji. Thank you everyone for asking your questions. I encourage you, make sure you ask them earlier so we can get to them. Now we'll have just a few announcements that I'll share screen. So coming up at the end of this November, we have a Global Chik and Setukari e-camp by our head, Swamiji, a global head of Chinmaya Mission, Swami Chidrupananda. And he'll be taking the topic, Mind Matters. This will be on November 28th and 29th. And it is from 9 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So this comes also, in the Thanksgiving break and everything. So you all will be able to have your family fun, but also tune in for Mind Matters. Second, we will also have our announcement for next our next session. And so Swamiji just concluded chapter 4 for us. And next time we'll meet will be in 2 weeks for Satsang. Will be led by Swami Ramakrishnanandaji. And he'll be taking chapter 5. Next up, then we'll have Swami Advayanandaji and then Swami Sarveshanandaji to finish out the year. As always, we will also have our CHYK-only discussion group. So that will meet next week. So to be very clear, next week we'll have discussion group. And then following that, we'll have on November 16th, chapter 5 of Booklight, to which everyone is invited.